Well, hello. It's been a while, I know. Yeah, but I'll be back. It's come to that time of year where we got to go through all the categories of the Game of the Year. And once again, I've been, my prestigious self, asked to fund the show. Not fund the show, to support the show. And to support all the great games that have come out in the last year. And believe me, there's been quite a number. Many of them have been on this channel, and I've played many of the games. I haven't played all of them. Some of the adventures games that have came out recently, I've got some catching up to do. So hopefully we will have more Retro Robbins shows coming up. I've been ill for a couple of weeks, mainly ill last week when I was meant to get a show out. Unfortunately, I've been a bit flew under. Plus, before that, we had the massive event of Crash, and now rapidly approaching Christmas means that I am got plenty more to do. I've got to set up one or two things because everything's all over the shop at the moment, and I will be doing more videos. Indeed, we've got more Crash content. Still going through with the Crash Smashes from each particular magazine, and I'll be catching up with those shortly. I think I was up to issue number 52 last time I checked. I collected all the magazines back in the day, and I had the lot for many years before I donated them to a retro museum, so people all had a chance to read through Crash. So hopefully, oh look, I've lost my background. Yeah, as you can see, Game of the Year, and that was all there from last 2025, but we'll have 2026 coming up soon. So some of the big winners from last year are all on there as well. I like to go through one or two of the puzzle games, which is here. Yeah, I don't remember how to play half of these. Minesweep was alright, Rockfall 3 was okay. Hedgehogs 2, that's where you got the two hedgehogs, is it? Where you have to try to match them up. That was pretty good. I quite enjoyed that game. I'll need to change my settings with this as well, by the way, because I think I will need to hold down space, is it? Okay, right, so let me have a look. What did I need to do before? ULA Plus is needed to O for options. In frame, coach. Okay, okay. Yeah, I've got to go to this and change the settings. Yes, so there's more Game of the Year coming shortly. The award ceremony will be taking place just after January, I believe. So it's been an honour and a privilege to go and judge all the games from the previous years. I've also been playing testing the brand new Wanted Monty Mole game, which was absolutely amazing. What a delight it was to meet Peter Harrop at the last event. That was a big tick in my box. I got my game signed, by the way. So yeah, general. I've got to remember how to do this. Right, ULA on, okay. Keyboard issue 3, 58 128k timing. Scan lines now. Oh, okay, the ULA's on. Why hasn't that worked? Okay. Anyway. Bit of music. Yeah, and this was one of my favourite games from last year. Just a clever puzzle game. So, yeah. Right, I'm going to leave the theme tune on for a moment. I'm going to make myself scarce for a couple of minutes and I'll be back with you shortly. I'm going to play for a couple of games and then, of course, we're going to talk about the next event. So, apart from Christmas coming up, I'll leave you with this. Right, okay, I'm back. So let's bring back up the picture of me, just as people can see that I'm here, I'm real, and I'm talking. Doing a lot of 3D printing, been doing a lot of repairs, as you can see. Yep. Little retro Robbins badges for myself. And I know one or two things that's been going on in the background. Secrets I must keep, unfortunately. I'd love to involve you in them. Remember how to play this? Is it 1? Yeah. Okay, this was a game where you've got to... I forgot how to do it. Right, so... Match the two up, is it? I'm liking it already. The controls have been reversed, and I've lost one of them. You've got really pixel perfectly timed these. That was easy enough to do. Yeah, I did like. I love the graphics of the hedgehog here. There's a way of. Oh, I've got to remember now. Oh no, I'm dead. I forgot how to do that game, but I remember getting quite far on it. So yeah, Crash Live was amazing. Quite an attendance. I think it's in general consensus now that we've kind of outgrown the venue. There was a terrible leak, which wasn't good, with Chris having to get the mop bucket out the night before, because we had rather unusual weather for those people that didn't go. Torrential rain the night before, and despite the fact that they'd spent a lot of money refurbishing the whole of the downstairs function rooms and that, I particularly like the arcade room, by the way, at Crash Life. So with a mixture of the sort of one-up arcade machines and the other arcade machines. One of the arcade machines has sort of stopped working. I've got that in the house at the moment. That's due up for repair, and I'm going to get round to doing that shortly. So we're thinking about doing a slightly larger venue. So we can probably have at least 1,500 guests rather than the usual 600 to 700. The talks were phenomenal. The next team were next level. And amazing, the KS3 earlier this year. Do you remember the live stream where I got a little bit overexcited? That was brilliant. There's been a lot of games come out recently. Usual flood of Christmas games always come out. A lot of homebrew games. So many games are coming out for the Spectrum that I just cannot, in all reality, keep up with every last one. But I will try to bring you an honest opinion of the games that I reviewed. You may have noticed that my channel sort of diverted into a little bit more hardware based. I've always had hardware based videos. Unfortunately, I do love this rocking chair. Unfortunately, you know, I've got a lot of content to go through if I'm going to do that. But I want to keep it mainly me playing games, nostalgia games as well as new games, and of course I want to carry on mixing it up a little bit with reviewing games from other systems, just to add a little bit of variety to the spice of life, if you know what I mean. So yeah, everybody out there, by the way, there is going to be a Retro Robin show hopefully before Christmas. The traditional Retro Robin show with more gaming actions. I've got so much material on the cutting room floor that I've got to get around to editing it, but unfortunately too, I've got plenty of repairs. None of my systems, apart from that one where had any issues. I'm working on something special to do with the ESP spectrum. For those that don't know what the ESP32 spectrum is, it's that little emulation device there. You probably recognise the, yeah, that was my idea to put the colours in the case, because I 3D printed these cases with an older printer that I have now got a brand new printer, so I can now do a better job multicolour printing. That was actually done by me actually pausing, putting a pause in the program, in the G code, swapping out the PLA for the colour that I wanted to print next. And then that would print for a couple of layers. I don't know if you can see that well. Probably a little bit out of focus because this camera isn't the best. So yeah, but the ESP is quite a really good good little spectrum solution that's tiny. And the idea is I want to fit one to the back of every monitor, so all you got to do is plug the keyboard in. You've got a spectrum there straight away, easy to set up. So I might get a few of those. Hardware reviews, I haven't had one of them very long, but I do like the fact that we've got two interfaces there, that Sinclair, Kempston, and Sinclair 1, Sinclair 2, as well as the cartridge slot. I will be stripping some of these down so people can actually have a look what's inside of them, but don't be overwhelmed. There's not a lot internally into these sort of things. It's usually just a logic chip and a few tracks. I am also working on the micro drives, where I'm going to have a full bank of 8 in succession to see if we can load all 8 games, a little bit off each one of a micro drive, but getting 2 of these to work, let alone 8 of these to work on a regular consistent basis is hard to do. So yeah, there's a lot more hardware reviews coming out. There's got some interesting adaptations coming out for the Sinclair Spectrum, including, and I'll reveal something to you. And you'll have to bear with me. That, if you haven't any idea what that is, and it's got a couple of colours at the moment, it's a little bit of a test subject. This is going to be the new cover, any colour you like, for the Spectrum. But the reason why there's a vent there is because you take it off from the top as a dust cover and you can place it underneath, and then that's where the speaker is. That vent there is where the speaker is, so it will sit down on the table. And what that'll do for those people that very often lose their rubber feet at the bottom, this one's got all 4 on, but if the rubber feet are missing, it's not going to matter, because this is going to have support beyond the rubber feet. The rubber feet's actually going to sit in there, and that way that will double up as not only a dust cover, so I want it to have dual purpose, yeah, that side, but it'll also sit as a handy little thing to go on this side, and because it supports it nicely all the way around, all your adaptations are going to go in quite neatly. That's one of the things that I've been working on. You may see something similar. You remember the Spectrum Next, you got this sort of cover that fits over the keys. Well, I wanted to do a full one. I didn't want to do a keyboard just only one. I wanted to sit over the keys as a dust cover for your Spectrum or your Harlequin 128. But I also wanted to make it universal, so as you could turn it the other way around and have it as a base, which is what I'm going to do. And unfortunately this one didn't work quite as well. If you look there, you can see it's slightly warped, so I didn't get the bed temperature right, plus there's a bit of scarring on that, but that's just a test print, to be fair. So those are 1 or 2 other things that I'm going to be working on as well. I've got lots of Spectrums to repair. This is one of those that Aunt Harper gave me as a gift, which was really nice of him, because this is the yellow board Spectrum that everybody likes. Hence the reason why I printed this in yellow. Cool. I'm having a little play around with creating my own sort of designs like that. These are just basically tea coasters, but I'm going to start making them. I know it's just retro Robbins, but I'm not going to just put retro Robbins on there. I'm going to have them with my own little artwork and design. So loads of different sprites would be nice, but this is where it gets interesting, because the tea coaster I'm designing will be thicker than this, and it will have a little round battery on the back with clear PLA printed as each one of the characters. Say you'll have Monty Mole, Sam, and when you put the cup of tea on it, yeah, if it gets wet underneath, you create a circuit, and as you take the tea off, because it's warm, all the little sprites will glow up because they'll be in clear PLA and there'll be LEDs behind them. So it's going to be sitting like an LED plate. And that's just one of the ideas that I've been toying with, which is a lot of engineering to work with it. But believe me, I will be doing it. I'm sorry if anyone's watching, they're messaging me. I haven't got my messenger on at the moment. Just letting you know where I've been at for the last few weeks. You know, still recovering from Crash. There's a lot of work, Crash Live. And yeah, I've got these things as well. You may have seen these sort of nice. I like. That's my Manny Miner one. There's a few little bits missing off this, so I've got to, you know, I like the colourful Manny Miner at the bottom. So yeah, but they come apart, but I'm going to be possibly putting that in a frame and then coating it in clear epoxy resin and then illuminating it via a strip of LEDs pointing upwards, so as it becomes a light that will be fitted on the wall. Yeah, as you know, I've been working on these things again. I've been repairing a couple of these. They're not easy to repair. And one or two other things that I've been preparing are, oh yeah, interesting hardware review. We've got the Spectrum Maxi there I'm going to review. I don't know if I should do it with a black or silver or even a white cover, but I kind of like black. It looks sophisticated. But there's a review coming up. What is better, the Maxi, the ESP, or the Harlequin? Well, the Harlequin's as true to a Spectrum as you can get with an actual ULA, isn't it, to be fair? But this ain't too bad. This ain't too bad. I've got a few little design quirks that I want to sort out with that. I was given these. I'm not a fan of them. It basically is just a USB micro drive, 3D printed. Yeah, it's okay. It's not overwhelming. But yeah, I've got all of those sort of things there, and as you can see, I've got tons of Spectrums. And this is the toast rack, which is missing the coil, but doesn't necessarily need it there. That sort of thing. It works. It's a working toast rack. I just do not have a case for it, so I'm going to reprint one. I don't know how I ended up with just a board, but I haven't recapped it. I tested it. It worked fine. It didn't work to start with, and I don't know what I did to fix it, but I managed to fix it. So I don't know how I fixed it. Still, sometimes that happens. Whether it's just a bit of a, you know, it needed a bit of TLC. I was thinking about taking every one of the ICs off this and putting them all in sockets, so as I've got a test harness, if you like, for because I haven't got a case. I shall recap it, put every one of the chips in a harness, so I can basically go to any other toast rack, take the chip off, test it in this, and see if that chip's okay, because sometimes it's not easy to isolate whether chips, logic chips on that are not good. You can do it using this, you know, I can test logic, I have shown, but I tend to forget how to do those sort of things. 3D printing wise, got lots of things I'm going to be printing, and there will be a follow-up video because it went down so well to the Italian ZX Spectrum. I did a couple of videos. The Italian Spectrum went down well, and I'm hoping to do another video on that. I've got it so as I can load games on it and that now, and hopefully the next Crash Live event it'll be playable. I was thinking about adding some joystick ports because I thought there's a way of doing that without compromising it. There's plenty of them around. I don't want to spoil it, but it may be left best just to leave that as it is because you don't see them in this country very often, so I will probably do that. But yeah, I did like this. There's a little device I got. I'm coming back, don't worry, I'm coming back. I like that. I like that. It's a nice design. It's a tape loader, but it looks great. It's got a volume control, but I don't think it's as good as the one that Ricky makes, to be honest. Ricky's seem to load games that this one doesn't, but it does load the majority of the games. I think the one that Ricky did me a very special one. It was a little bit louder. I mean, I've got this one. This one I use tends to cover a lot of games. It can do MSX and one or two of a different format, ZX81. So I kind of like that. It's not as powerful as the white one. There was something special about the white one that he did that I use, and that's my go-to tape loading solution, because I do like to load games via original tape, including the modern games of this day and age. So that's where we're at with the Retro Robbins show, and yeah, I'm looking forward to judging some new games for the Game of the Year. Any suggestions what you think should be represented in the list, let me know. This is going to be Portugal, possibly, and all the European nations vote for their favourite games, which is something that I'm sort of trying to get involved in to represent the British side of things, because we're not, you know, they've taken the Spectrum and they've loved it, and they've run with it and made it their own, if you like, where we're sort of losing the identity here, but not for the next stuff, shall we say. Next is doing rather well. As you can see, we wasn't going to get it before Christmas, but who really thought we was going to get the next before Christmas? You know, I'd rather it be right than worry about getting a product that isn't quite right, you know. We can't fix these things in transit. They've got to be right when they arrive at the door. I held the Magneto coloured one, or purple, as TJ likes to say, at the last event, so I got to see the actual case. The thing that I didn't like, and I'm going to be straight up there, was the keys, because I wish the keys were the same colour as the case. Whether that can be done, I don't know, because they just buy a standard keys, don't they? So it's just the case, but they've done it with the white. You know, you've got white keys with a white Spectrum. I don't know if they bought those keys standard like that. Maybe they did, but I think if they could get the same colour keys to the case, it would cost a lot more money, though, I should think. So I don't know whether that was taken into consideration with the next. Anyways, hopefully we'll have a live show to go. I don't know what he's saying because I can't quite hear him. Anyway, more featured. We'll be playing with the PC Engine. Here's one that Ginger Hippie Gamer gave me, and I managed to fix it, get it up and running, and it's working nicely now. It's not a perfect one because it won't fit in the multi-card slot, but I've got a it won't fit in the harness, but it will work with that. Capture cards have been an issue. I need to get more capture cards. That's it for me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon on the next Retro Robbins show.